Grand Rising and happy Saturday. Start to the strength end. I'm here at Lodi Lake. I was planning on doing a little walk around the nature trail this morning, finding a nice grassy spot to do some stretching and journaling and planning. Unfortunately, the lake is closed for some reason. I have no idea why, but it's all fenced off all the way around. So we're here at a park that's not fenced off, right outside the lake, and there's a nice little grassy spot here that I can lay my blanket down, get my stretching and movement in, because today I'm going to be checking off some investments on the captain's log, some of the weekly challenges. So I'm going to be creating my big rocks for this next week, planning and prioritizing those, which will check off the accept and act investment, which is creating weekly goals for your most important roles, as well as the observe and orient investment, so planning this next week. And I'm also checking off 60 minutes in nature, although it's not as in nature as I want it to be, but this absolutely works. You got some geese in the background there. I got my decaf coffee, my grounding sandals, and most crucially, a nice little King Palm spliff. Decided I'm not gonna go live on Instagram today. I like time to disconnect and just be with myself. So yes, even though I said I'm going live every single day at 7:30, I decided today, you know what? My day's already been a little disrupted from my plan that I had set, and I'm not able to get fully immersed in nature, so I decided no Instagram live, just fully connecting with myself, connecting with Earth. And I'm very excited for this movement session, because the last time I did this movement session, I was able to realign my body, felt much more loose, much more flexy and agile and just loose and limber. So we're gonna do that today, and I find that connecting with cannabis intentionally helps me to loosen myself, to go into my body, work out any tightness, any tension that I find in there, and quite literally release tension. And I also find that it helps me connect with myself. So this will come in handy for the planning and prioritizing. Another thing that connecting with cannabis allows me to do more effectively is get out of my head and into my body, which I already mentioned, but also it helps me to focus on myself, because I spend a lot of my mental energy, and this is something that I continually remind myself, I place a lot of my energy and attention on this video, for example, on how I'm serving other people, and I've noticed that that's taken up a lot of my mental real estate. Something that we talk about in the mindset module is, what are you placing your energy and attention on? And if your energy and attention is constantly placed on external things, on things you have to do, people you have to see, notifications, problems in your life, everything in the external world, we have very little left for our internal world to create the thoughts, feelings that we want in our lives. So I use connecting with cannabis to connect with myself. And I notice by doing that, it helps to release that tension, especially when combined with movement. So that's what I'm gonna do here today. And of course, I'm going to take advantage of this wonderful jungle gym behind me. Utilize this and incorporate some play. Something that we talk about later on in the program is incorporating play back into your life, being free, moving your body, and having fun. Friendly reminder to pick up garbage. Clean up after those who don't love themselves. And that is how together we will make thriving standard. Just walking around here and notice some garbage. There's a trash can right here. So anytime you walk by a piece of trash, especially if there's a trash can nearby, let's do our part to keep our home clean and beautiful. My vision for my work, for my life. The reason why I created the Captain's Lifestyle. My vision is a world where humans and Mother Nature thrive synergistically. We cannot do that if we are only focused on ourselves and not the impact that we have around us. Cigarette butts are one of the most common things that I find. See, here's another one. These things don't break down. These little filters that are in the cigarettes, they don't break down. It's not natural material. And I know why I find so many cigarette butts. That's because the people who smoke in general, for the most part, who smoke artificial filtered cigarettes, those are the people who are distracting themselves from their feelings. And because of that, they don't love themselves. And if you don't love yourself, you don't love other people, you don't love Earth, so you don't think twice about littering. You don't think about the impact that that's going to have on other people because you don't love yourself. You must first love yourself. People who love themselves do not litter. They are extremely mindful of their impact on other people, on the world. And people who do love themselves lead by example. We show others that it is possible to live a healthy, fulfilling, free life, a life of impact, life of making the world a better place. And we do that by first making ourselves better people. Sometimes that requires coming face to face with those thoughts, feelings, emotions that you do not want to be present with, that you are distracting yourself from with a cigarette, for example. And this is why I do what I do. This is why I created the Captain's Lifestyle crew, to have a community of people for support, because it's extremely difficult to do this on your own. It's much easier to have support, to do this with other people who are doing the hard things, who are making changes in their life, who are challenging themselves, who are being present with their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, regardless of if they want to or not, regardless of if they're good or bad emotions, because the only way out of the difficult situation that you find yourself in, suffering, needing to distract yourself with cigarettes, alcohol. Yeah, speaking of Saturday, I remember years ago, I would have been worried about where I'm going drinking tonight, poisoning my brain and body. And now I'm here at the park playing on this little path. I remember when I was a kid, I used to come and walk this path and, you know, see if I could make it the whole way and just play. So that's what I'm doing this Saturday, because I have done the work. I've done the work. I used to distract myself with alcohol. I have distracted myself with cannabis in the past, and now I realize that distracting yourself only prolongs the inevitable, and it makes your situation worse. Look, this guy's out here getting after it. Nice. Pick up these last few pieces of garbage while I give a shout out to the crew. So if you would like a community of like-minded people who are prioritizing their health, who are seeking fulfillment, who are making a better impact on those around them and the world, click the link in the description, captainslifestyle.com/crew. I would love to have you on board. We need more people who are living healthy, fulfilling, free lives. Together, we will make thriving standard. God didn't create us to be here and to be overwhelmed, to live in fear, to live stressful, anxious, depressing lives. God created us to live loving lives, fulfilling lives, meaningful lives, a life worth living, a life of joy, fulfillment, and freedom. And worrying about what other people think of you when you know that you are doing the right thing, does you no good. Does you no good. In fact, it does you a lot of harm. Creates a lot of tension. A lot of tension that we store in our bodies. A lot of people store it in their traps, in their neck. A lot of people got headaches, experience tension headaches. It's because we're holding all of that tension. We're not doing anything to release it. So that is why I prioritize movement. And that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm gonna set up my blankie on the beautiful earth here in the morning, feel the cold dew on my feet, and release some tension by moving and breathing into my body. Let's get it. All right, what a great little movement session that was. Although I wasn't able to unlock my hip, there's still something out of place in there. It's like there's something tweaked. So I spent more time than expected trying to get that back in place. And so yeah, I'm gonna save the planning and prioritizing next week for tonight, because I want to make sure that I get home in time, because apparently there's homemade waffles. And I am definitely going to be sacrificing my point for the Eat Real food section of the captain's log today, if there are in fact homemade waffles. And my dad made fresh squeezed orange juice, so a homemade waffle and fresh squeezed orange juice is worth losing the point for today's Eat Real food section. Priorities. So for me, in this case, I would rather prioritize a homemade waffle with my family and fresh made orange juice, especially because I can hack it with some supplements. You'll see. Well, I missed waffles, but there's leftover batter, so I'm gonna make one myself. And I got my gluten guardian, because this is not gluten-free waffles. This is the full-on gluten-filled waffles. So making sure to protect my gut health with gluten guardian. All right, let's see this beauty. Oh, look at that. Get some butter. Top it off with some organic blueberries. And of course, some very dark maple syrup. All right, let's give it a try. This looks so good. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this. Wow. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend homemade gluten-filled waffles with organic blueberries topped with some maple syrup. Highly recommend. Get yourself where to go. Guys, it's worth it. It's worth it. Get yourself some gluten guardian. All right, I ended up taking 6. Actually, you know what? Let's make it 8 gluten guardian, because there was some leftover waffle batter and I figure why let it go to waste? So we're having 3 waffles. And in order for me to feel good about eating 3 waffles without destroying my gut, gluten guardian. Another reason why I'm having 3 waffles today and feeling good about it is because my day is going to be filled with movement. I'm spending the rest of today packing up, getting ready for my move, which is happening on Wednesday. I'm excited for that. So today I'm going to be doing a lot of movement, burning off a lot of this sugar. Well, good news, bad news. Bad news is that the 3rd waffle got basically overcooked and glued to the machine. So I won't be eating it, which is the good news, because I really don't need 3 waffles. I'll be good with 2. Oh, just woke up from a nap. And on second thought, Do not recommend having 3 waffles. I ended up having the third one. I ended up getting it out of there, and having the third one was like a like a waffle chip, dipping it in sugar, so in syrup. And so yeah, I had a lot of sugar, and I'm feeling it. Experiencing a little bit of indigestion. I noticed my heart rate is a little bit elevated, very slight headache, and energy just crashed. So took a little nap, although I did pop my hip back, so that's feeling good. And I imagine once I get my body moving, I'll be feeling a little bit better. I'm also going to take some Shilajit. That sounds phenomenal right now, and then get to packing. So that'll be it for this video. Moral of this video: prioritize down regulation, but practice down regulation. Practice listening to and feeling your body. And if you're gonna have waffles, do it in moderation. Only have 1 waffle. So those are my lessons for the day. Would not recommend 3 waffles. And let's get packing.